Well, good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman. Good evening here on the East Coast, the West Coast, late afternoon. When I'm recording this, it's just before 3 o'clock on the West Coast, about 10 to 6 here in South Jersey. Just wanted to do a video. Didn't have time to do a lunchtime chat today. I left work early. Just wanted to touch on some of the things I know I do in my morning drive video, but some more news. Now, let's go over Michael Gallup. It's official. He has been released, and they will announce that it's going to be a post June 1, a post June 1 designation. What that means is he's still going to count on their salary cap until June 1st or June 2nd, I should say. Or, once June 2nd hits, he will be off of the salary cap, saving us a whopping $9.5 million. The downside of that, there'll be an 8.7 dead cap hit in 2025. So another bad contract by Steven and Jerry. Listen, they're awesome, shrewd businessmen, but they are horrible at doing contracts, in my opinion. Again, it's come back to bite them multiple times, with the whole Jalen Smith debacle, with him and his drop put coming out of Notre Dame. I'm happy for Jalen. He got his money. Surprising enough, he went on and played 2 or 3 more years with other organizations. So shout out to Jalen, but it was a mistake re-upping him at like 50-some mil. Not good. Not good at all. Last 2 seasons combined, people. Michael Gallup, 73 receptions. So that's what? 35, let's say 36 and a half receptions a year. Not good. 842 yards, so a little over about 421 per, and 6 total TDs and 3. So he was not, I repeat, 73 receptions over the last 2 years, 842 yards and 6 touchdowns. Not what you want from that contract. Again, they jumped the gun. They thought they were getting a bargain. Stop it. Stop it. More news today. Leighton Vander Esch has been, I don't know if they actually brought him in. I guess they did. They cut him. He's was going to retire. I don't know why I'm sure he will now. I don't know if it was some kind of monetary thing that his agent reached out to the Cowboys, and Cowboys were tired of waiting. He's got to make a decision. Either he's healthy or he's not. They cut him with a failed physical, saving the team $2.2 million this year and a $2.2 million cap hit as well. So the dead money is rising. Just a quick note. I just saw it a little while ago. Aaron Donald, at the age of 32, is retiring. Just a little quick note before I forget. But getting back to Vander Esch, only 1 season in Vander Esch's career has he gotten over 100 tackles, and that was his first year. Eric Kendricks, believe it or not, even though at first glance I thought he was a shot fighter, he had 113 tackles with the Chargers last year. So he can't cover as much. But for what we need with Mike Zimmer, he needs his guy in the building. And so that's a good thing. That's a good thing for Eric Kendricks and the Cowboys. He's going to be wearing the green dot. He comes in as our number one, as our best linebacker. You got to remember, Overshown's coming back from injury. We have a young Damone Clark. So I expect this to possibly do another free agent signing, but we're definitely drafting somebody in the 2nd and 3rd round. We might do a mock draft. We'll definitely do a mock draft this weekend. I'll do another mock draft, my 3.0 probably Sunday morning. Yeah, because tomorrow night we got me and Primetime Phil on Primetime Phil, brought to you by Primetime Studios. So, yeah, so Eric Kendricks comes in as our best linebacker now. Like I said, we're going to have Damone, Eric. We'll have DeMarvian. We're going to draft somebody, and, we'll probably pick up at least two or so in the draft or even outside the draft. We do our best work with free agents coming out of the draft. Sometimes it's best not to be, selected in the 7th round. So Dallas will fill that position. Zimmer needs linebackers. So, we're not done yet. But speaking of Eric Kendricks, I'm going to show you some video on Eric. He signed his contract today. So let's wait, that's not the one. That's the one. There he is. Let's see what Eric's got to say.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? I'm Nick Eatman here along with the Cowboys' newest linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And Eric, it's been kind of a crazy week for you. Just tell us how excited you are to be here at the Star and signing with the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, I feel like just arriving yesterday and being in the facility today, it's all become real. Very excited to play. Obviously, it's a sport I grew up, love playing, love playing middle linebacker, and I'm happy that I get to be in Zim's system again, and it felt right.
Yeah, talk about Coach Zimmer as well. He just got here, I guess, a few weeks ago, and now he signs you back. What was it like to play for him?
I feel like the level of detail and the amount of football that I learned with Zim was tremendous, and I feel like I'll never take that for granted, and that's why I'm in the situation I'm in back with him right now.
Apparently, and he was here obviously before he went to Cincinnati, Minnesota. So we've seen him for a while. Very intense. Is that the kind of style that you like? I mean, he seems like he's a player's coach, but he'll tell you what he thinks as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like me and Zim have had our times where we've even butted heads. You know what I mean? And just the fact that I'm back now with him just shows you, how I believe in him, and he believes in me, and we want to get the job done. Ultimately, playing the best football and winning a championship is our ultimate goal. So that's.
And he brings a lot of experience.
Who usually wins those battles when you butt heads?
I feel like we're both too damn stubborn. So sometimes it's a lose-lose.
I think what happened was you realized.
There's been some reports that you were leaning a different.
Yeah, well, let's listen to this and then I'll tell you.
Different way, maybe even San Francisco. What kind of turned the tide? Was it just reuniting with Coach Zimmer? What was it about signing with the Cowboys that you felt like you had to do this?
I feel like it was a really hard decision. It's an excellent organization and a wonderful program they have there. And ultimately, I wanted the opportunity to play Mike and bet on myself. Especially at this point in my career, I have a lot left to prove. I feel great, moving great. So to be able to play Mike with this defense and the guys that we have on this defense. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass, and
green dot,
I'm
baby.
very happy with the decision.
You've seen from afar. You've seen guys like you've been on the other side of Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott, C.D. Lamb. What's it going to be like to be a teammate with them?
I don't know yet. It's gonna be crazy, but just hearing from my buddy Anthony Barr, locker room's amazing, and the guys in the locker room are amazing. So I just can't wait for the opportunity to meet them.
All right. Well, welcome to Dallas. This is new Cowboys linebacker Eric Kendricks.
There he is. Eric Kendricks is in the building. I think what happened was that Eric realized that he's not going to be but a substitutional piece with the Niners. Greenlaw supposedly is already doing well. He's ahead of schedule. He must have did the Aaron Rodgers procedure, and he's already doing well. So it's looking like after 3-4 games into the season, he's going to be in a reserved role with the 49ers, barring injury. You come here, he's wearing the green dot. He's starting. He needs to show, especially a young DeMarvion Overshown, you give him time to learn. It'll help out a Damone Clark. It'll help out another rookie that we're going to draft, a high rookie, whether it's whoever you like, Edgerrin Cooper, if it's the Michigan guy, if it's Tyron Hopper. I mean, it could be A lot of guys. Tommy Eichenberg out of Ohio State. We're getting a young one. It's just a matter of second, third, fourth round. We'll get one, and we'll get a couple more as unrestricted free agents after the draft, guaranteed. So it was a big pickup, bigger than I thought. I was wrong about him initially, not because we got him. I'm not saying he's going to make a Pro Bowl, but the fact that he plays Mike, that's big deal. That'll alleviate a lot of issues. But in saying that, we still have work to do in free agency. And in order to have any chance of stopping the run, especially now with Barkley in our division, we normally do well, but against him. But Hankins needs to return. Jonathan Hankins needs to return. I was hoping for another free agent to come in here, but if not, we also need to pick up a defensive tackle in this draft. Again, in round 2, 3, or 4, somewhere in there, we need to get a big one. So, that's a must. We need Hankins and Gilmore both to come back. Those were guys on the team last year. We need Hankins and Gilmore back. We need to, I would say, just get a young one in the draft, but I still think you need another one in free agency, like a big down lineman. But, I know that's asking a lot. But speaking of free agents, running back free agent, like we need some sort of veteran. Defensive tackle, like I said, not named Hankins. Hankins has to come back. And possibly a free agent wide receiver. Possibly. I know we like our young guys. We have, CD and Brandon Cooks. We got both Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks. I like that. But you need more, right? You need more. So I know we have Kevontae Turpin. I guess that's a possibility too. Don't forget a young John Stevens. That's the tight end. He was a converted receiver to a tight end out of college who was having an unbelievable training camp before tearing his ACL. He did it early on. He's already sprinting, or he's already on his way. He will be ready for training camp. So we got work to do, but it's not all bad. But I wanted to show you another clip regarding our defensive line. Just Jesse Holley. Just take a listen here. But Hankins has to come back, and I believe this has to do with Hankins. Let me open this up. There it is.
You can get a lesser linebacker if you have a better defensive front. I've said this a gazillion times, right? So I don't think that you have to go get this stud linebacker as much as you need to go get a stud defensive lineman. And if you're able to retain Hankins, have a stud, a beast. I'm talking about somebody who's like, when they line up, the O-line is like, crap, we got to deal with this cat. Like,
exactly.
You have that as well as a Jonathan Hankins, then now you're cooking with something, because now you can let your DNs, whoever you want to put out there, D-Law, Micah, whoever else you still have on your roster at that point in time.
Yet another body.
Now those guys can go eat. Now you can mess around his stunts, and he can do all the things that he does scheme-wise to free up your next level defenders. But I think it's more important with some of these free agents. If you were going to make a day one splash in free agency, I would love for that to be a defensive lineman.
Now, as you know, they didn't do a day one splash, but you get the idea. You need a Hankins back, and you need another one, not named Mozzie. So, that's what has to happen. There's still a lot of dominoes that have to fall before we can draft properly. When I say draft properly and not draft for need, obviously, I know I have people texting me wide receiver. The only way that we take a wide receiver in round one is if Tyron Smith is back, which Tyron is still on the table to come back. If Tyron Smith is back here, okay, on a 1 or 2 year deal, kind of like what he's been doing, then it alleviates a little bit. If there's a run on left tackles and you're looking at a right tackle who doesn't play left and you don't want to move Tyler out, well, you have Tyron. Maybe it gives you more time to work with Matt. Well, let's go, who was drafted a couple years ago. It gives you more time to work with Asim Richards, who was drafted just last year to play left tackle. So, again, if we can bring Tyron back, then now you're looking at, you need a center, because we still need a center. I know we have Brock Hoffman as a guy who can play center. He's, he did play it last year. But in my opinion, you want to go get a young one as well. But if you have Tyron, it opens up the possibility of taking a receiver who may drop, a Brian Thomas Jr., something along those lines, a Keon Coleman. Then you're looking, okay, that's why you need to fill your free agent holes. So you go into the draft with more options. Because as of right now, today, we have to draft a tackle. We have to draft a tackle, and he may not be a left tackle. We might be trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, so to speak. So you see they have a lot of work to do, and I think they know they have a lot of work to do. Nobody's saying you got to have the best, but we need to grab some more pieces before we draft. But that's it. That's it, everybody. Just wanted to update everybody on where we sit. We're under the cap big time. I expect the CeeDee Lamb deal to come before training camp. I'm hoping they're working on it now. I do think that we're going to see it in the next couple weeks. And once we do that, that'll save us a good 15 to 20 more under the cap, freeing up space for us to be a little more, we could shop a little more freely in free agency. Now, just remember, we're going to keep a lot of that money to roll over the following year to cover some of that dead hits. So be aware. We're not going to spend every dime. That I know. But that's it. I'll be putting up a lot of stuff between today and tomorrow. I think Mark and me are going to record something tonight that I'll premiere. I don't know if I'll premiere it. I don't know if I'll premiere it until tomorrow night. But then I'm on with Phil tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But me and Mark are going to do something tonight. I'll release it tomorrow. And, yeah, that's it. Everybody, you have a good night. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as a mailman, saying late.